podcast.
It's podcast.
I would say it's podcast Wednesdays, but it's a Thursday now because of Ashley's car.
Sorry,
but it's
guys.
okay. The car needed you more.
Apparently. It was like you thought.
You thought wrong.
Dude.
But we're back. Finally. I know. I've gotten like 6 messages from people asking why we didn't post. So they're out there. They're waiting. They're listening. That made me feel good. I was like, yes.
We just had to make you miss us a little bit. That's all.
Just a little bit of extra.
It's part of my toxicity.
We had to know that this relationship was real.
See if you come back.
Just to see if, it was a fantasy of ours or not.
We just wanted to keep you on your toes and make sure you were listening.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
And Hoss gets to read for us today. That soothing man voice of his.
Yes.
Ah, bitch.
I did nothing.
Yes, you did. You know good damn and well they're all like shirts just flying open, buttons going everywhere. Do the cough. Do the cough.
Oh, that's Seth
I'm
Rogen.
extending it to you.
Extensions.
Ooh.
Da-da-da-da-boo.
Ding.
Ding dong, the witch is dead. Anyway. Today is the episode on mental health awareness. So strap in.
Can you hear me chewing?
No. Excuse me. She muted her mic, ladies and gentlemen, because she's eating her nuts. So if you hear anything, we're just giving you free ASMR.
That's right.
We strive.
All right, let's start with the excerpt.
I love you so much.
Hello, Trash Talk. I think it's an awesome thing what you're doing for the community. I just wanted to say that firsthand.
You're gonna make her choke on her food.
I just wanted to tell you that I think it's an awesome thing that you're doing for the community. I just wanted to say that. A lot of people get way too scared, and I know you'll get some assholes in the mix. But don't give up on this. It's helped me a lot just reading your Facebook posts, because it's hard for me to believe right now that it'll get better when I'm surrounded by the company I keep. I don't really have a way out right now. I'm scared I've waited too long and my opportunity has passed. My mental health is made fun of on a regular basis and brushed under the rug, not only by my family, but my soon-to-be husband, which makes me feel like I don't matter. I know deep down I don't deserve this, and I am not overreacting, but I feel like I just agree at this point to avoid argument or being subjected to a million questions, or worse, mocked for feeling bad or for saying I am not comfortable with the things that are being said to me. It feels like a one-way street, as if their feelings are so much more important than mine, and that they can do whatever they want to do and feel upset about anything and everything. But if I get upset, I'm the problem and need to stop talking. That's when I stop talking. I get teased and told I'm being dramatic. I'm really in a dark place, and whether you read this on air or not, I'll be listening. So any encouraging words or advice is greatly appreciated. Thanks.
Good dad.
Yeah.
So, I wonder if it's like literally everybody around them.
Say it again.
I wonder if it's everybody around them, or if it's like particular people, or like, so like for Rachel, like, is it like 2 people out of 5 people doing it to you? Is she straight getting bullied by everybody around her? Because not that it would make much of a difference, but it could be harder depending on how much she's getting put on her. Like if you have I feel like my daughter tells me she feels like that sometimes, where she feels like everybody's kind of ganging up on her and that she doesn't really have like a voice here and there. And like I get that.
Yeah, because
I'm wondering if
I was skimming it to see if she mentioned anything other than her husband.
Yeah, the soon-to-be husband one's pretty bad. Like,
Yeah, he probably didn't learn that, though. He probably
Well,
got that from her side of the family or her friends
that's
and was
what I was
like,
thinking.
oh,
Because it
well, if
says
they're
my
doing
family
it,
and soon to
then
be husband. So maybe he's like,
Yeah.
this is how they treat her.
exactly. Like, and that's bad by itself because, like I said, prior about like Steve and stuff, his siblings would make fun of me all the time. And he would not take up for me. That was one of the like big issues of our marriage was I was never taken up for, even though when it came to certain people in my family who made fun of him, like I was balls to the wall, like, don't talk to Steve like that. You wouldn't like it if we did that to you, yada yada yada, and I got the shit for it. But he would just sit there while his siblings did and said whatever they wanted to. So I learned to take care of myself. And I'm like, yeah, no, I don't have to visit. I don't have to sit there and take it. I'll just get up and walk away.
Right.
But I have a problem with this one. I have
deal
like
with
a
it, here
thousand
and
like
there.
pieces of advice.
Right. I get the feeling of it. I guess my best advice is
I'm
something
so
I
sorry.
probably should have taken on
That
my
was
own.
my cup. I
We're
apologize.
just jumping out the well.
Look,
Hold on.
it pissed me off so much. It pissed me off. I just literally threw the cup down the well, and this is where all the bad people go. So y'all better watch out.
They're on a whole nother level today.
It's a deep one.
It's a deep well. So many bodies.
When I said I felt a certain way, I didn't mean that way. My bad. But
But the need to feel validated is totally normal. But you also don't want to let people walk all over you either. And I feel like so I mentioned my daughter going through the same thing, and it's not that like we treat her in a bad way. It's she literally will not stick up for herself. And that doesn't mean we, prey on her or anything like that. But I have to point it out to her, like, you can stick up for yourself right now. Like, why are you letting, your brother talk to you that way? Or why are you letting this girl talk to you this way? Like, a lot of the times it's not sticking up for yourself. But I guess if you're brought down to that level so many times, like, you kind of lose the fight to fight back for yourself. And I feel like that's kind of
could go either way.
Yeah.
Because for me, I think I finally woke up and realized that I didn't want people to make fun of me like that. I think it actually was when Kira was picked on by one of his siblings who will remain nameless. He actually threw like a little top of water in her face. And that was the last time I remember actually being nice. Because I set her down and immediately went after him. Said, don't ever do that to my kid.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
So, I can take it. I can deal with it.
Yeah.
I can be civil even though I'm mad. But you will not do that to my kid.
Right.
At all. Because I grew up in I was only joking when they were actually making fun of you.
Right.
You're being too sensitive even though they were actually picking on you.
Right.
But they were just, as bad as it is to say, y'all know my potty mouth. They were mind fucking with me. I know this. They were making me feel like I was overreacting when I wasn't.
Right.
So
You're being convinced that your feelings are wrong.
no.
And this is how you really feel, but you don't.
And the bad thing is that those exact people will get on Facebook and post about how someone's mistreated them when they themselves do it to other people. So they never think about their actions having consequences or how they would feel
Right.
if someone was doing it to them with, they were saying to somebody. So stop taking mental health like it's a joke. It's not a joke.
And I feel like sometimes the people, like, for instance, maybe her soon-to-be husband, sometimes they will act like that just as like a defense. Like, so maybe he's feeling some type of way about something else, and so to kind of hide that, but that doesn't make it okay.
Could also be like the coward's way out too, though, is like, oh, join the crowd, so
Right.
I'm not the one being made fun of. It's like 1,000 things that this could be. So
Yeah.
that's why my mind is like 5 different ways.
Like, ultimately, what it comes down to is, like, you shouldn't surround... I think that was part of the first paragraph, like, the people she surrounds herself with, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
So, that being said, like, I mean, I've gotten rid of a lot of people in my life. You have too.
Oh, yeah.
It's because of shit like that.
What
quite
you put
frankly.
up with today makes your future. So that's my piece of advice,
You know,
because I dealt with it for as far back as I can remember, maybe 5.
Yeah.
What you put up with today, what you enable, is what your future is going to look like. And as bad as it is to say, the fear that you have about not making healthy boundaries, about not sticking up for yourself,
Right.
is temporary. Fear is temporary. Being scared of confrontation is temporary. That, him picking on you, whoever is picking on you, making jokes, mocking you, that is forever.
Yeah.
You're going to have that linger with you. That's going to follow you. And you're going to rack your brain wondering why you allowed this to happen. Like, are you
Right.
this person? Are you this weak person that people think, oh, she's not going to say anything, so I'm just going to do whatever I want to.
Right.
That's people who are hurting others because someone picked on them in the same way and they thought it was normal.
Right.
So to be a cycle breaker, I guess, it's a lonely road, but it's a peaceful road. So
Right.
that's my peaceful, honest advice. I'd rather be here right now than deal with the disrespect, the mocking, the jabbing, the, oh, you're too sensitive. Oh, you're just, being a certain way today. You have an attitude today because
Right.
you don't want to be picked on. That's my piece of advice.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put up with it.
I feel that.
I can honestly 100% say that now. I used to say that back then.
Yeah.
But myself was a doormat to a lot of people. So that's my
Yeah, I
piece
did-
of advice.
I mean, I did it too. I've let a fair share of people walk all over me. But you just get to a point in your life where, like, you have to decide, like, are you gonna keep putting up with the shit? Like you said, it's gonna be, if you stick up with it now, it's gonna be the rest of your life. Or
Yep.
are you gonna make that change to have more positive people or less people? You don't necessarily need a bunch of positive people in your life. You can be happy by your damn self.
Yeah, you can give yourself honest advice.
And I mean, if it's starting from, the family aspect, at this point I worry it's just something that's been accepted. Like, I am okay with being treated this way. I have been my whole life.
Yep.
So it's either you have to find a person that's going to show you the other way, I think, before you're able to see it the other way.
Yeah. She didn't mention any kids either.
Right.
So, like, we got this
Yeah.
a couple months ago. So I don't know where you are at in life now, if you got married or what
If
have
you're
you.
married
But
yet,
I mean, it's something to think about.
yeah.
If you're dealing with it now, if you're giving permission for someone to treat you bad today, what happens, if and when y'all get married,
Right.
if and when y'all have kids, if
I
and when
will
y'all,
quickly
befriend
say-
other married couples.
That marriage, kids, none of that. There's, probably a big percentage of people who are convinced that, like, that will fix things. And, like, that's not. Even if it fixes it, temporarily, cool, but it's not just gonna go away.
No.
That person treats you like that because it's part of who they are. It's
Yep.
part of how they do things. Now,
And-
I'm not saying people aren't capable of change,
True.
but that conversation also has to be had. You can't expect changes without saying something.
And without, putting his business out there, the longer you enable this behavior, the longer and more hard-headed they're going to become.
It's like a
because they're going to
leech.
be like, what? Like, we've been doing this for years. Why all of a sudden is it different now?
Right.
Because we had someone like that who literally would say the same thing. Be
Right.
like, oh, well, you didn't have a problem with it back then. and it just makes me want to strangle you. The memories.
Triggered. No, I just don't. I'm pretty sure maybe I've probably made somebody feel like that. I'm trying to put it from like if I had done it to somebody. I don't think I have. I think I'm a pretty good listener. I might talk too much. Like if somebody's like having a hard time or something, I try to distract their mind more than try to talk them through it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like, I don't want somebody to react to me like that. I want you to talk me through this shit, but I don't react that way. Like, if you come to me telling me you're having a bad day or something, I'm going to, try to turn your day around versus focusing on what's wrong. And some people don't like that. It doesn't go well. It makes it worse. Mm-hmm. It's, you don't care about, I feel like that could be perceived in the same light if it's the person not knowing me and how I react to things. You know what I mean? Like, oh, well, she doesn't give a shit. She just told me to go look at the river or whatever. She doesn't care about my feelings. I don't know.
Can I have a piece of it?
Something, you know what I mean? But she just tried to distract me. She didn't care to talk to me about it. She doesn't want to hear about it. And
Dodging.
It's not that I don't, but
dodging.
I also only allow so much negativity. Like, I get it if you need to talk through something, and that's fine. I mean, I dump my shit on people all the time, but at the same time, maybe make sure I'm in the right headspace for that shit. You know what I mean? Like,
do you have a safe word?
I'll have I probably need one. I have a few people who will come to me out of the blue. Like, I can go months, maybe even a year or two, not talk to them. And it's like, out of the blue, hey, how are you? When ultimately that how are you doesn't mean shit. Because by the time I'm done texting my response on how things have been since whenever the fuck it was I talked to you, I'm already getting back what's going on with you. You see what I'm saying? Like, you don't even let me respond on the how are you before it will be...
So they're just pretty much using you for something they can't,
right,
get from somebody else.
I'm a fucking air conditioner, bro. People vent to me. It's a venting thing. But it's like, I let people do that to me. I will let you vent to me all fucking day, and then I'm okay with not hearing from you. But obviously it bothers me somewhere. And I think it's only when I'm having a hard time, though. Like, for instance, if I were to get one of those damn texts today, and, not give a shit about, the last few days that I've had,
I was about to say, because of the past few days you've had.
So I think it's a perspective too, but if it's a constant thing, everybody around you, it's a learned behavior. Whether it's from his family, her family, just something that is being accepted as okay.
Well, there's a lot of people that are enabled for so long because nobody wants to say anything to them.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where they're like, I've gotten away with it for so long because everybody's too scared to say anything to me. I'm going to do what I'm gonna do and say that I'm blunt, and this drives me crazy because I know so many people.
Yeah.
So if you think that this is about you, more than likely probably it's because I know so many, and it drives me crazy. Stop saying that you're blunt when you're being an asshole. That's not being blunt. Right. That's you literally unleashing some weird angry projection of something you've been upset about for forever,
right,
onto some innocent person who never did a damn thing to you. So I'm going to tell you this now. If you're one of those people that sit there and say, well, I'm just blunt and I just, I say what's on my mind. No, you're just an asshole. And I don't care what anybody says. You have no right whatsoever to be blunt with somebody because you don't know what they're going through. What you're saying to them today could affect them so much that tomorrow they couldn't be here because that's literally how serious it can get. If you wouldn't want it said to you, stop saying it to other people.
Right.
Stop being blunt.
Right.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Oh, yeah.
That's not blunt. That's rude.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I should have. And it's not a nap thing. It's just instantaneously I get annoyed at people being bullies. That's an adult bully.
Yeah, exactly. That's literally what they're doing.
Yeah. You're hiding behind a word.
I guess my question for the husband or the family, let me be blunt.
Yeah, I mean,
Bitch, roll that shit up and smoke it. Suck on it, do what you gotta do.
anybody that knows me knows the face that I'm making. Freaking
But you
blunt.
know, like my thing is like, okay, if you don't have your family, if you don't have anybody around you to help you stick up for yourself, because sometimes if you might not feel comfortable doing it, somebody else, I'll come over. Like, I will come to, Thanksgiving dinner. I will tell them all to fuck off. Like, I will tell them to quit bullying you. Like, if you need that advocate, like, I'm here.
She's
do it.
taking applications.
Yeah.
She's
She's
gonna stop working where she's working, and she's gonna start up a business. And y'all can call her $50.
I think that's a thing. Like, you can buy somebody's time for, like, as a friend
Now
for the
for
day.
hire. The other friend.
The other friend.
Call us now.
That one.
We're available.
That's what we'll call it. That
Do you need
one.
someone to come to your New Year's Eve party?
Do
just
you
to
need
tell
to
people
tell your
that here's-
family that they're pissing you off and you don't know how? Call us now.
Got a birthday for somebody you really don't want to go to because they treat you bad? Happy birthday to you. Nobody likes you.
Can
Yes.
you tell that we all have the same dark humor?
Yeah.
But I'm so serious. Like, I don't know.
I know. Yeah, where your headspace is where my headspace is.
If I'd like to say if it were me, but at the same time, like I said, like I've let so many people walk all over me.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
so I didn't ultimately like say it was a smart idea to get out of that friendship or relationship. It just disappeared one day. I wasn't like, hey, fuck you, you're treating me like shit and I'm over it. Like, I didn't do that. I was just like, all right, I'm out. I'm gonna not
That's
talk
not
to
what
you.
happened with me.
Right.
Mine literally crashed and burned. I have so many stories. Come sit next to me. I have snacks and memories and screenshots. So many screenshots.
Speaking of next to us, I have got a few people asking when we're gonna start like recording.
Recording. What is that?
Like, they want us to like record the whole stream, like video.
Ooh.
But then you guys can see all of our
Shenanigans?
If
My mocking
shenanigan-
face? Everybody likes my mocking face.
If you shenan once, you'll shenan again.
I see what you did there.
That was so wonderful.
Wasn't it?
Wonderful. Round of applause for Ashley. She wins today.
Yeah.
I'm
so
down.
I don't know when.
Technically, the camera on this computer totally sucks, but I have openings on my outlets. I can totally buy a camera. We can stream whenever. Just answered your question for you.
Well, my original plan was like, okay, I'll just do it on my phone. I got a bomb camera.
Well, yeah, the
But-
cameras are good on the phone, but like when you play it back, it's kind of fuzzy.
Well, Trish, my life doesn't work like that, right? So my phone is rarely quiet, and I don't want to have our like shit recorded on here, and then it be like, bing ding, bzz, 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 bzz.
It makes
I can't do that.
You know, like in
either.
the back, you can hear the vibrate like in a video if your phone vibrates.
So you
like
don't
that shit. I
you don't
want
have like the iPhone version of just like do not disturb. I have
that.
that
I mean,
button.
I do, but I get too many kids.
I mean,
too
that's
many
fair.
kids to put that shit on do not disturb.
They make nice USB webcams.
Yeah, and you
yeah.
could technically plug it up in this guy, and just stream it that way. So I'm down. I will look at reviews tonight. We will pick a computer. We will pick a camera together.
Yeah.
Excuse my brain fart.
Lol.
Lol.
Whoa!
Raffle.
Loyola.
Lamau.
So I went to go type LOL to her, but it was something really funny that she said. So I typed LOLOLOL like a bunch of times. And
It said Lola.
Samsung decided to say, "Oh, you're talking about a Crayola with LOL, so let's say Loyola." And I'm like, that's not. No. So then I Googled it. It does not exist. Like, what are you doing?
Really?
It doesn't exist, then why would they
I didn't find anything on it.
autocorrect you?
It sounds like it would be like a
A laughing crayon?
like one of two things. Either like a weird business that like nobody you never see people actually go in or out of.
Maybe it's a word for loyal.
Oh.
Which is what a lot of you bitches don't know how to do.
Let me teach you something. Grab these crowns.
Loyola University in Chicago.
Mic
Oh.
drop.
Shut down.
And in Maryland.
Hey, that's not far.
Los Angeles. Apparently Loyola is a pretty prestigious school.
Who would have known?
That's what I'm saying.
It's a city. Loyola High School of Los Angeles.
Wait, I thought we were in Chicago.
It's everywhere.
Now we're in Los Angeles?
everywhere.
So is it like a franchise?
It's crazy. It's everywhere.
But why didn't it pop up for you before?
I don't know. Because it's so weird.
Okay.
Samsung's got its own
Alrighty.
thing going on.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
True that.
saying. Ugh. You got an
Oh, yeah.
itch. I
Not to
can't
digress.
scratch.
Mental health awareness. Yeah, so people that
Yeah.
who, anytime you hear someone say that's just how they are, that's immediate red flag. When people say that's how they are, it means they've been enabled.
Yeah.
Somebody somewhere has enabled them enough to where they think it's okay to treat people bad. The toxic nature that comes from them. There's so many people out there like that. It's okay, you know, he didn't mean it. That's just how he is. He always says stuff like that.
Right.
That person who's saying that is the enabler
Right.
and has probably dealt with it. Therefore, it's not okay. It is not okay to treat other
Yeah.
people bad just because.
And I feel like those people come from that. Like, if you're the one getting treated like that, eventually, if you accept it enough, you're going to end up just fucking like that.
Yeah.
You're going to be treating people the
Yeah.
same way because that's what's been given to you.
Oh.
And, you know, with the way people are, that's not going to be okay.
Yeah.
You can't give people back what they give you.
I was one of them. I was the enabler for so long for a lot of people. You know, it was something along the lines of you ask for help and get ridiculed for it, so then you just stop asking for help instead of correcting the problem. Or you notice something that's wrong, so you speak up about it, and then you get attacked for it. So then you just stop complaining, you stop pointing out things that are wrong, and you just bury the hatchet and say, oh, well, I remember what happened last time. I said something about this, so now I'm not going to do it. So it's, you kind of just bottle everything up, which is the worst thing you can do for mental health. It can send you spiraling so fast that you can go off the deep end and question your existence, and it can go really far just because everything you do is wrong in everybody else's eyes. That's not okay.
No.
It is not okay in this situation. It's not okay for, you know, the purpose of a spouse, you know, not so much to love and to cherish and hold in sickness and health. It's support. Support is the biggest thing you can do for another person, because you don't know what they're going through. You don't know what they've been through, and they should always stick up for you. You know, it's one of those things to where if someone picks on you, they should be your first line of defense. You know, you're not alone. You should have a good support system. That's the way out of everything, is having support. You know, it's when you go so long with
I'm sorry.
when you go so long without support, then it can weigh a heavy toll on you. You can honestly feel like there is no one. There's no hope. There's no point.
Right.
You know, it's like, oh, if I wake up today and I'm not here, at least I won't get yelled at. Or at least I won't be told what I'm doing wrong today. Because you have no support.
Right.
But it's out there. There's plenty of support. You have to be open to it. It's just look in a different direction.
Yeah.
You know, for so long I thought, nobody would understand. Nobody was out there like me. And that's the number one thing that mental health people, that's in jeopardy. That's the number one thing that they think is nobody knows what they're going through. I myself am one of them. I thought nobody understood. Nobody would understand. So I just bottled it up. And you just can't do that because it will destroy you. It'll destroy your character. It'll destroy your mental health. It will destroy everything, and you will change who you are completely to satisfy others instead of putting yourself first.
Yep.
He's come so far. Mm-hmm. He used to bottle everything up all the time. You never said like 2 words to anybody.
That was a big bottle.
I first met you.
It was a really big bottle.
I'm so proud of you.
Aww. Yeah, I don't know. I still kind of do it, even though I feel like everyone does to an extent.
Even if you've like healed to the fullest, you're still gonna have your bad days.
But I'm still like, I will reach out. Like if I feel like I'm like, oh my God, I'm literally about to lose it. Like I will reach out. But I think there's like there's a big stigma with mental health too. Like, I mean, I feel it. My kids have told me they feel it like at school. They have like a open policy. You can go talk to whoever at school if, you're feeling some type of way or whatever. But there's precautions sometimes, depending how low you're feeling. And if you're not ready for what they're going to throw at you, it might piss you off. And then so now you're scared to speak out to somebody because you don't know what's going to happen. And ultimately, the only thing I can say to that is if you are feeling that worried that they're going to put you somewhere or suggest you go somewhere and you're not really ready for that news, if you got more than one person that's not feeling like they're able to help you, sometimes it's the best place to be. I'm not going to act like, I've taken a grippy sock vacation, it's not the best of vacations, but
shit,
it's an eye-opener. I will tell you, I feel like everybody has their own experiences in those situations, but it was an eye-opener. And I'll tell you one thing, that's where that fear comes from. I don't want to go back. I don't want to be there. Now,
fear of reprimand.
You do get a sense of support and, a different mindset going out than when you came in. But ultimately, it kind of instills a fear.
Yep.
So I would push for a support system more than I would talking to your doctor. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's because take this medicine, go talk to this person. And I'm sure there is great mental health places outlets.
My experience behind it was different.
Yeah, don't let them for instance, what I'm getting at is one of the psychiatrists I talked to, it was like they were talking to me. She started our first conversation with, "Oh, well, how are you doing since I saw you last?" Well, being that this is our first time meeting, I'm doing okay.
That's
so
great.
I immediately am like, she doesn't give a shit about me. She has no idea who I am. I am every other person to her.
Oh. You are a job. You're not a friend.
I didn't go back to her. But there's people like that. There's, and it's a shame, but there's therapists out there. There's doctors out there. There's ones that will care about you and do what they can to help you as an individual. But then there's also doctors out there who see depression as a thing, anxiety as a thing, and that's all they care about. They don't actually try to take the time to see what's going to benefit you and what's going to work for you. So you just have to be very careful on that fine line of things. If you get a weird vibe, it's a weird vibe for a reason.
I was about to say, because my experience was a shade different. It could have been the year. It could have been just because I was lucky. I met my doctor actually going through the grippy sock vacation. But it was a different experience because at the time, I was going through a lot. Full disclosure, I thought about ending my life. This was 2014. You don't think about the people that you're going to hurt. You don't think about your spouse, your kids. During mental health, especially during that moment, it's something that doesn't cross your mind. For a split second, it probably does. But for the most part, all you can think about is the pain of feeling alone and feeling like nobody's going to care. And the people that you did reach out to or try to talk to, they didn't even pretend to care. They acted like you were a burden, that they had too much on their plate.
Or they
that
had bigger
everybody,
problems.
yeah, everybody has those problems. You just need to suck it up. That's the responses that I got.
Right.
I won't say by who, but that's what it was at the time.
I have a few people.
Yeah, you do know it.
Not now in my life, but they were in my life where it was always kind of, and I think the writer mentioned that too. It's my situation is more important than yours. My, whatever I'm going through is more serious than yours. And yes, there is levels to things like, oh shit, I thought I was having a bad day. You're really having a bad day. But at the same time, you have everybody around you, and either they're going to support you or they're not.
Well,
I've shut so many people out because of that. And maybe I'm a shitty person for that. Because at that point, that means I'm not there for them. I'm shutting them out because I'm more worried about myself. But at what point do you make the decision of, okay, I'm the one looking for help. They're not looking for help, so mine should be. I don't know how you get rid of that hierarchy of whose situation is worse. The only other thing I could suggest is relating is different. If you're relating to a scenario, that's different.
Yeah.
But if you got two people struggling, it's hard to give somebody advice when you're going through the same thing.
Exactly. I was gonna say that without interrupting.
I've straight said that.
Yeah.
To my sister, I'm like, I really want to help you through this, but I don't know how to. Because I'm going through it too.
At least you were honest, though.
Right, I'm not
Yeah.
shutting her down, but I don't know how to help.
You were honest without shutting her down. That's like a more healthier approach than just
Right.
shutting down completely, which doesn't make you a shitty person. Like,
Good.
people make shitty choices or decisions, but it doesn't mean as a person you are.
Right.
It's something to have like as a mantra.
Right.
You should repeat that every day. Like we used to do our 2 positives and 1 negative. But my grippy sock vacation was better for me because my surroundings was worse at the time. So different era, different time. And I stayed probably about like a week or so. And that's how I met my doctor, though. She stuck with me for 5 years, loved her to pieces, and then she left me. And I had to go to her partner, which he was cool too, but I missed her. She went to Texas. She had to go help other people just like me.
Yeah.
But she knew, like, it was nice to get that perspective from someone that didn't know me.
Right.
Who, because in my mind, I was thinking even the people that were telling me something, they're like, oh, they're just saying that because they love me.
Right.
And that's another part of like mental health. Is,
like one of those you have to say that.
Yeah, you have to tell me that because you love me.
Right.
So it was nice to get the different perspective from someone who didn't know me at all.
That's what I was going to say. Sometimes go seek help from a complete stranger who doesn't have a judgment against you. And I'm not saying go find, Jane on a corner and say, hey, look, this is my life and this is why I don't like it, but find someone out of the box who doesn't know the situation you're in and explain to them what you're going through and what you're feeling. And chances are you got a 50-50 shot of them giving you some good advice because they've been through it too.
Right.
You
don't think about it because people portray only what you see on the outside.
Yeah.
That was kind of my situation. I only seen, the wrapping paper, if you will, but I never
Yeah.
got to see what was on the inside of other people, and you can get so far, I didn't have the grippy sock vacation, for me,
it.
for me, my light bulb was, 140 miles an hour driving towards the edge of a bridge, just because I was done. And a thought popped in my head, a memory, a future thought popped in my head, and it was like, okay, hit the brakes, turn back the other direction. It wasn't, I didn't have any support. I just had a hope. And it still took me a few years, of battling back and forth to come out of the end of the tunnel. But I found that person that didn't judge me based on what other people thought of me. That person judged me and listened to me for who I was. And it was someone that I least expected, out of everybody to relate to. There's a person out there for everybody that.
She said, "You can open my present box." Oh,
That's because he did. It was me.
it was me.
Yeah, I comfortable now, I wasn't so much then, but it was something that just
Ah,
clicked.
you cried. I didn't cry. You're crying. I'm not crying.
Something
can't
that
help it.
something that just clicked, and it's a warm feeling that comes over you. It's like, oh my God, this is my person.
Yeah.
And you just spill the beans, like everything you've been holding on to. It's so crazy.
Hormones. It's hormones. My bad.
Everything
It's the
you've
memories.
everything you've been holding on to, and
But that's like what I said. Sometimes it takes
yeah,
seeing how you're supposed to be treated
yeah,
to see that it was a problem to begin with.
yep,
Like now you can look back and say, damn, I was in a tough, I had it rough.
yeah.
But ultimately, like, be thankful for the future and that that's not carrying into your future.
Hell, I'm not afraid to admit it. I cried like a baby. I hadn't cried since I was a teenager, and I mean, 37 now. When I was at 35, I couldn't even, I was so far gone and so far beaten down that I could not muster up a tear for my mother's funeral when she passed away because I was so disconnected from reality. And that's scary. But when you find that person, everything comes out. And I cried for probably 35 minutes straight explaining everything to this person who just happens to be sitting next to me. But, and she's emotional because she's remembering that day and how much it was not so much, she didn't feel sorry for me, but she related, comforted, and pretty much told me, hey, look, that's not okay. It's not okay. You are important. You have a voice. You have a backbone. It's not okay. Just because someone says, oh, that's who they are, or,
Right.
oh, it's, they're just blunt and speak their mind. It's not okay.
Right.
So find someone. I urge you to find that person, and you'll know it when you find them. It'll just come at you out of nowhere. Don't try to explain yourself. If you've tried to explain yourself to those that surround you and it is only met with retaliation, they're not your people.
Right.
It's somebody else. Somebody, maybe, a high school buddy that, you were kind of friends with, but you kind of weren't friends with. It was like, oh, and then you just kind of lost touch. Reach out, ask them how they're doing. If they come back with, oh, and they give you this whole spiel of their life after not talking to you,
Right.
it's like, oh man. But if
They
they
even thought
kind
for
of
1 second about how
if they
I've
talked
been.
for 1 second, be like, oh yeah, my life is complete crap, and then that's kind of like the basis for your conversation. They're not the people either.
Right.
There's somebody out there that is for you, that is going to be a person in your life for the rest of your life. Someone who's going to be your savior. You just have to find them, and you just look outside of your circle, because that's all that's happening. Is it sounds like it's going around in a circle. Take a turn, go the other direction, try something new. That's from experience. When you find that person, all the pieces of the puzzle will start connecting.
I think that not feeling judged feeling is important too. Like, I couldn't, we've had our ups and downs, my husband and I, but I don't feel like I can't talk to him. I couldn't imagine not being able to tell him that, like, hey, I'm feeling some type of way. Because I'll tell you what, if he didn't acknowledge me, I'll slap the shit out of him. But I'm just kidding. I'm not abusive. But, it's hard to put myself in that situation for the husband aspect. The family aspect, I get it, dude. Families can be toxic. Yeah. But
It's all your fault.
I can't, I can't put myself in the husband situation. I mean, I can and I can't. So, I mean, there's been times when he's brought me down a little bit, but he's always been the person that's like, quit letting this person walk all over you. And I'm usually defensive about it. I'm like, no, they're not. This isn't how it is. And then he's usually right.
Yeah.
But so without that, like, he gives me courage that I don't have otherwise. I've been through court a few times for a few different things. I wouldn't have got through any of that without him being like, keep going. You know how many times I wanted to just quit? I just wanted to give up. Like, I'm not fighting this shit no more. I'm not gonna keep putting myself through this. I'm so stressed out. He's like, just go. And in that moment, I'm kind of shitty with him. Like, it's kind of shit advice. Like, just tell me to deal with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It was him being fucking stern, because I didn't have that in my life. I didn't have somebody to put their foot down and be like, get your shit together, Ashley. And he does that. He keeps me on my fucking toes.
I was about to say,
need
sometimes you need something like that. It's like a tough love thing.
Yeah,
and
like, he is quick to tell me, like, hey, you're fucking up. Or, hey, you need to do better doing this. And I feel like I give it right back.
Yep.
You're pissing me off.
But that's good, because
Right.
that's something that, like, me and Hoss didn't have. We were the people that had to do all the jobs.
Right.
And then when you finally have had enough, when you finally have tried for so hard being in this one role where you're doing everything, you finally wake up one day and you realize that if someone cared about you enough, they would want to do it.
Right.
If they want to, they're going to do it.
If they want to,
And
they would.
I didn't have that.
Right.
And he didn't have that.
I mean,
and it's
a
one of those
period
things that it's mind-boggling to me, because people are like, they take up for...
it doesn't just mean everything's ruined.
Exactly.
Like, we were, either you work through it or you don't.
Yep.
Either things improve or they don't. Just don't be the person to stick around if it doesn't.
And don't be the person who picks sides when you see somebody, like, that couldn't make their relationship work.
Right.
Like, just be there for them. Mm-hmm. Don't sit there and add fuel to the fire. Don't sit there and just automatically think, oh, well, they were screwed over by these people.
Right. Don't make your own
different,
story.
Stop following the damn crowd just because you hear something shitty about somebody.
If I'm 100% honest, like, we've had, our fair share of gossip about our relationship.
Oh, God, yeah.
I would much rather somebody come to me and be like, yo, what happened? Versus, like, you making your own version of events. Or you hearing from, who did we say earlier? Jane on the corner?
Yeah.
Jane on the corner.
Who cares what you heard from Jane on the corner? Like, if you have a fucking question, just ask me. If you want to know what happened, just ask me. People don't do that.
We didn't get the same I wouldn't even know what you would call it. I would say respect, but it was
Right.
disrespectful what they did. So even now, we got quite a bit of retaliation for one of the notes that we received and we shared. Well, she went back and got her little buddies to delete us and everything else, while still pretty much, proving whoever wrote to us that morning
Right.
right, that you're still retaliating. You're still putting out there that you didn't do any wrong, and I'm not going to be the person to sit there and tell the world what you did wrong, because karma is coming.
Right.
I know, like, I had my karma straight up. And you know what I did? I took it. Because I know what I did wrong. I acknowledged it. And I knew it was coming. You don't do people wrong in this life and expect it not to come back and bite you in the ass.
Me personally, if I knew... That's like knowing somebody has a problem with you. Mm-hmm. And instead of trying to make it better, we're just gonna say, fuck it. And let's add some more shit. Let me give you more of a reason to think this of me.
Yes.
Tough subject for right now, but it kind of reminds me of my mom.
It's all a mental health thing.
It
like,
is.
It's
like, why?
If they don't solve that, they will continue the toxic process. Somebody has hurt them. It hurt that person. But instead of stopping that cycle, they continued it. And they did it to somebody else that would have never done it to them.
Right.
And they just kept pushing them and pushing them and pushing them. And once that person, that innocent person, was like, why do I have to put up with this just because you're hurt? Like, I've tried to talk to you, I've tried to work this out, but you're sitting here telling me that people are just supposed to sit there and take it, never grow, never learn, and just keep mentally beating you down because of a piece of paper.
Right.
No, it doesn't work that way. And if
I-
people agree to that, that means you're a part of the problem.
Right. This makes me angry. Like, okay, just for the simple fact of, like, if it's being wrote about you, it's clearly because they can't come to you.
Yep.
So fix the fucking problem.
Fix the problem.
Quit being the goddamn problem. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the GD. I know some people don't like that. I apologize.
Well, I do put a potty mouth disclaimer.
But people are sensitive about that specifically. GD. People get in their feelings about that. I'm sorry.
This whole generation
I take it back.
gets offended by quite a bit.
Seriously, like, at some point,
you have to sit there and take accountability.
right. And
You have to.
especially for your kid, dude, make those damn... If my kid was like, Mom, you're being an asshole, I'd be like, what did I do?
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like, you're damn right, fuck you. Like, that's essentially what happened in that scenario. Like,
Yeah.
Mom, you're being a dick. Oh, let me show you how I can be a dick. Versus, how did I do this? Or why did I make you feel this way?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
this shit makes my blood boil.
If you have somebody in your life that is complaining about one thing that happened years and years and years ago, but they never did anything to change it, or they never did any of the steps to, be a better person, and they just continued the same process just with different people, I think you know who the problem is. Especially when you see the bad guy, air quotations, thriving after said bad guy leaves. But yet you're still stuck in the same toxic
Those type
cycle.
of people, I just don't really have sympathy or pity, or I don't know what the word
No.
is. I don't have it. It's not there.
Yeah.
You could not come to me. You could come to me crying with that shit, and I would not feel bad for you.
Especially if it happens like so many times and you don't do a damn thing to eventually get to a point where you're like, yeah, this did happen and this was really bad in my life, but I can't let that stop me from living. I
Right.
need to own what I did wrong, and I need to shut that chapter and forgive myself, forgive that person, and move on.
Right.
Move on and grow up.
Yeah.
Because literally, if you're retaliating against people like that and you're throwing a fit,
I mean,
Grow
if you need
up.
some big girl panties, I can buy you some.
just saying, grow up. But I think that was a good piece of advice for mental health awareness. Like,
your feelings are important.
I feel like,
your thoughts are important.
Could definitely be like a part 2 because mental health is.
Send me that invite for Thanksgiving. Oh,
Oh, it was New Year's, so we could do all the holidays.
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah.
You just let me know. I'll tell them to
Definitely
suck
swing back around on this one too, because there's so much that you could talk about when it comes to like mental health awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And disclaimer, okay, let's just put this out there too. If some doctor tells you that, hey, this sounds like this disorder, and you get offended, more than likely, you need to go and find the help.
Right.
Just saying.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that out there. I don't care if that person is
Or if you're
listening
not
or not.
sure, you can get a second opinion. Now, if that second doctor tells you, it is what it is. You gotta figure
Whoever's
shit
listening, you know who you are. Go get the daggone help, dude. Like, I got PTSD. I got CPTSD. I got severe depression. I got panic anxiety. I
I will
got
say
all
it like
sorts of
I
stuff.
say it to my mother. Like, if you
Disassociation.
if you don't give a shit about anybody around you and how you make those people feel, 'cause you made it very clear,
oh yeah.
do it for your fucking self. Like, don't you want to feel like a better person?
Don't you want to feel
want
better?
people
Thank
to like you? Don't you want good things in your life? Like, why do you're literally begging for negativity in your life and then you cry about it? That makes no sense.
See, she gets
Yeah.
it.
For
I'm
what?
just saying.
For what? Nah. Lord Jesus.
But yeah, keep them coming, man. Write us some more.
Yes.
We like it.
And I guess soon we'll start inviting some guests. Bro, side note, I don't know why, but they are like being very aggressive about my dog shots right now.
They want you to know that they aren't playing.
Bro, I've literally
the
had
doggy needs it.
I have had to confirm 4 different times just sitting here recording the podcast.
They
4
do
different
that
times.
with doctor's
Please confirm
appointments
this.
too. I had
If
to
you can't come to this, you need to
Yes.
press 4 now.
They called me, they texted me, they emailed me for an appointment tomorrow, and I'm like, I told you I'm coming. It's okay.
Guys, my appointment time is 5:48. I have to be there at 5:48. And it
Is that
says
today?
if I'm more than 5 minutes late, I have to reschedule. It's literally so they can give him his rabies shot.
God, it's a movie. What is the movie where the lady waits all day for the cable guy to show up and he's sitting outside the house waiting until she gets up to go to the bathroom, and then he's like, "Oh, knock on the door, put the pink slip, sorry we missed you," and
Yes.
and flies out of there.
It
God,
sounds
dude.
familiar, but I can't remember the name.
Oh,
I'll think about it after the
Yep.
podcast ends. Is what it
That's what they
is.
are. And what's worse is like, oh, you didn't make it within your scheduled time, so now we're gonna bill you because you took up our time.
Okay, but you make us sit there and wait for forever, so you're taking up our time too. Okay,
I
what's
know.
both ways, man? I'm paying you,
And then
not
it
the other way
says-
around.
and then it says,
I went.
bring your pet in alone.
Yeah, I went to it. As a matter
All
of
right,
fact,
Casper, go
I
get
went
your
to
shots.
I went to a damn
Like,
to
what?
They probably don't want you to have any company, but
Right.
they did that to
It's
me
just
too.
the way they word it. Like,
I know.
send your dog in alone. Oh,
You're a big boy now.
okay, you're a big boy. Go get your shots.
You're gonna go in by yourself. Here's your
He'd
backpack.
be like, hell no.
But yeah,
Oh god, they're so pushy.
I don't know.
Jeez.
They did that to me. They left me a voicemail and everything, and they made me fill out like paperwork 3 times. And I'm like, I already did this. I already sent you like my insurance card and everything. Like, what do you want from me? Stop it.
They did send me a link, but that shit didn't work.
Yeah.
Just stop it.
The first psychiatrist I went to talk about everything. The first one I went to, I was supposed to be there at 2:00. I took off work early. I wasn't supposed to leave till 3:30, and I took off at 1:30 to go be there. And he didn't see me until like 2:45, 2:50, and he pulls me in the office. And he goes, "So what's going on?" So I explained just a little bit. The entire time, this dude's facing a bowl of macaroni and cheese from KFC. Then he answers a phone call. He answers a phone call and says, "Oh, I can't talk. I'm at work right now." And then looks at me and he goes, "Oh, well, I've got another patient coming in at 3. So, yeah, we can just meet again. Say, a couple Tuesdays from now. I'm like,
This
So-
is your PTSD.
Yeah.
though, right? Was
Yeah.
this the one that you went to the VA for?
no.
Okay.
No, this was the one in Hopewell, and
Oh.
he's like, "Oh yeah." So I'm like, "Hold up here, buddy." So you pulled me in the office. It was supposed to be an hour session, and you pulled me in the office 45 minutes late from my appointment. Gave me 15 minutes and said, "I'll see you next time." No, you're not gonna see me next time.
Right.
Have a good life and trip over the curb outside. I'm going somewhere else.
Tell us
Bro.
how you really feel.
Yeah, that's like the lady. Oh, how have you been since last time I saw you? Click.
Yep.
You ain't never seen me before, bro. What do you mean?
Exactly.
I think that they just try to take up on that, bedside manner or whatever.
Yeah,
They
bedside manner. I care, but I'm getting a paycheck.
pretty much. And that's not helping like you're supposed to be helping. That's
Yeah.
what you're getting,
You
Paid
got a
services
degree
for.
it.
pretty much. Okay, so it's been an hour.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We do have a couple surprise guests coming.
I'm so excited.
No.
I totally.
It's
Ooh,
gonna be
That's when we're gonna
very
start
cool,
recording.
very different because everything we've been talking about, we actually have like a first person point of view on all the drama and all the bad stuff that actually happened. And hey, we actually have a witness who's coming on and talking about it. And even Steve said that he's coming on. Plus Jay wants to come on.
Yeah.
We have a couple people that are coming on, and it's cool. But the surprise guest, I'm not actually gonna name her because I think it'll shock a few people. It's gonna be
yeah.
wild.
Oh yeah, more than a few.
It's gonna be wild. But she's excited. We talked for a long time, and she knows who she is. So we're gonna give her a shout out. She'll know.
And we have younger listeners as well that want to come on and talk about stuff.
Yeah,
forgot
had-
about those.
The
I have one
teen
too.
listeners. The ones that are like, oh my God, like our past episode of Toxic Parents,
Oh yeah.
reached a lot of kids actually and made a lot of steps.
I forgot to tell you about that
and
one, but I'll
we
tell you after
have-
the podcast ends.
We have a.
I have
know,
a troubled teen too, wanting to speak about
Yeah.
like what it's like to be that troubled teen and like, dealing with adults' reactions and how different adults react different ways.
Yep.
And
So we have it. We have it everywhere.
We do. And we're going to get a camera so y'all can see these wonderful, wonderful people.
yeah. Then again,
So-
maybe that's why our like little snippets are so popular because we don't have the video.
The sniffing.
The
The
snipping.
sniffer.
But yeah, we
So funny.
we definitely need to make like a guest list. I just might make it like a mystery thing until we actually announce it. That way we're like, oh my God, this is the person coming on. Oh my God, that's so
You're in for a special treat today. We have a special guest.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Coming in the left corner.
I totally forgot about the teen because she was talking about it yesterday.
Yep.
And she was actually going to come on. It was just going to be like this wild until the van thing. And I was like, I'll save it for another day. I was like, because I want Ashley to be here.
Bro, 100% though, I probably would have been fucking useless yesterday. Like, I was trying so hard to get here, but I feel like, low-key, if I did make it, I would have been like, I had such
okay.
a horrible day.
You did. You had a really bad
like,
day.
fuck, dude.
That's why it didn't bother me. I was like, it's totally fine.
Walmart
You're
told me they
you're
didn't
allowed to
money
have your bad
yesterday,
days.
Trish. Walmart said, I don't have money. I say, I have money on this piece of paper. I need you to cash it. They say, I don't have no monies.
What?
Yeah, that
They
started.
did that to me.
That's literally the first thing that happened. That started my day. And in that moment, I was like, yep.
Was it a paper check? Mm-hmm. Yep. See, I tried to cash out my 401k, and because I owed my Target Red Card $7, I owed them. They wouldn't cash my check.
This lady straight, she didn't even let me come in there, dude. She's like, what am I doing for you today? And I was like, cashing a check. She looked at it and she said, I don't have that. It's not a high price check, you guys. I'm not going to reveal it, but it's not high at all.
You're
It's
a
less than a paycheck.
$1 billion Fortune 500 company.
Exactly. So I'm like, I left feeling like this bitch just didn't want to help me.
Exactly. That's exactly what
Well,
it was.
not only that, it's probably because a bunch of people have been cashing out their stuff because, you know, the economy sucks. So they probably don't have it. She's probably not lying. But
Right.
I'm just going to be like, you know what? She just didn't want to help you. You know why? Because you my bitch.
I probably
got
turned her
you.
away at Geek Squad or something. Ma'am, you got an appointment? Nope. Have a good day.
Yep.
That's my karma.
That's okay.
She said, oh, you didn't take me with an appointment? Watch this. Good luck, bitch.
You're at the mercy of me.
God. All right. Let's say our
Okay.
goodbyes.
Yeah, we're rambling. Love
We
you guys.
are,
Bye.
but it's because we enjoy y'all
Never
so
say
much.
goodbye.
So we're going to post this. And then as we get our, you know, I want to say our shit together for next week, I'm going to post what our episode will be about because there's 5 different ones that we could go with. So I'm like, I don't know which
Ooh,
one we're going to go
We
with
should
yet.
put it in a fishbowl and pick one on that day.
Yes. We
So
can
we-
do that.
God, that-
And then y'all, of course, keep sending in your messages. Keep sending in your shenanigans because those are funny too when I get just like random text messages. I love it though.
I
Keep
like
going.
you guys. Keep going.
I like it.
Keep it going.
We're going as fast as we can go. We have to change our batteries and we'll be back next week.
Halls over there like, what batteries are we changing?
Oh.
Yeah. Please recharge me. I'm dead. No.
It's all that overtime.
Right. All right, love you guys. Bye.
Hasta la vista.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Y'all stay safe. We'll see you next Wednesday. No car troubles this time.
Yeah, thank God.
Bye.
If it is, I'll fix it.
He has services too. 1-800-HOSS.
See you on New
1-800
Year's.
Hoss. If you have mechanical troubles, please reach out.
It's true though. He does on a regular basis. See if you can fix Ashley's van.
Right. We tried, man. We tried.
Yeah, it's,
like, oh,
okay.
Your AC's not working? Hold on. 5-figure discount.
Bam.
It's working.
God.
I did end up having to like pay to like actually fix it eventually though. That sucked. Anyways, all right, okay, bye.
Stay safe out there. See you next Wednesday. Bing.